Hey guys, we are back here for round 3 with Flippin Amulet, the list that you see on screen right in front of you. And y'all know the drill. If you are interested in the details of this deck list, the theory behind it, how it ticks, check out match 1. I will not be going over that here. We're here for match 3. We are currently 2-0, so that's a fantastic lead, and hopefully we can continue the slaughter here. I will see you guys in the games. Alright, we have our match. Let's go ahead and hop on in here. Playing against Oli. I feel like I should recognize this username, but I don't at the moment. As we have a hand with a turn 1 Grazer or Amulet, and a Courser of Krufix that we sadly cannot cast. We have a natural Valakut though, and we do have a Titan. I think we're supposed to keep this. We'd like to hit a green source to cast Courser onto, but we'll see. Oli. If you guys know who is behind this particular username, then let me know in the comments. I think we're going to go ahead and lean on Amulet here to play around some discard spells. I think Amulet is more unique than Grazer here. So, I mean, Grazer might be able to buy us some time. We see a Mishra's Bauble and Bloodstained Mire, so I'm immediately thinking of those black-red Shadow decks. No Luris, so there's that. And yeah, we have a Courser this upcoming turn, if we so desire it. Courser should be good against what our opponent's doing, as our opponent plays a Tarmogoyf. Well, Bojuka Bog naturally is going to hose this Tarmogoyf, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and get one of these Grazers into play just to chump block. Actually, let's think about this. We have 3, 4, 5 mana. We're just one short of casting Titan here. Let's see, we float that's 3, 4, 5 mana. Man, if we had one more Grazer, we could actually cast a Titan this turn, but we don't. So let's just do the natural thing here. Play a Grazer, and we'll get a Gruul Turf into play since we do need the second green here to cast our Courser. We'll play our Courser, and yeah, I guess that we are done. I don't know, maybe we should have prioritized getting another land out instead of like playing the Grazer. Maybe we just slam Courser and pass it back, but we'll see. We might get punished for that, but luckily we can't get punished by discard spell because we have a Summoner's Pact lying in the weights on top of our library, so can't Thoughtseize the top of our deck, opponent. Cannot do it. This makes our Bojuka Bog more powerful as well, as our opponent continues to fill up their graveyard here for our Bojuka Bog to just eat away, as you might say, or I suppose maybe it's better to say exile. Well, our opponent's taking a very long time to take the Summoner's Pact from our hand. I imagine that they can't allow us to keep a Summoner's Pact. Yeah, there we go. I apologize, I do have a bit of the sniffles at the moment, so hopefully it will not be too disruptive, as our opponent is swinging at us with a 4-5 Goyf. I don't know why that is so difficult to see, but are we chump blocking with our Grazer? I don't see a reason to just yet. 4 damage is not a whole lot, and it's not like we're getting Temur Battle Rage or anything here. Our opponent could have things like Liliana of the Veil that we would want to play around by having a Grazer in play, so we don't have to sacrifice any of our relevant creatures. So we'll see, as our opponent plays another Goyf. Well, our Bojuka Bog really likes that. No land on top is pretty unfortunate, not gonna lie. Okay, well, let's get this Bog out. Bog our opponent. At least we're gaining life from our land drops. That's always nice. And I think we might as well put Grazer into play to get our Valakut. It's the same thing as giving us an additional mana and a future turn, so. And yeah, I guess we're just passing it back. No reason to attack with the Courser, I think. I mean, we could get 2 damage through, but our opponent's at 12, which is already a pretty low life total, and with things like Street Wraith, they're probably playing Death Shadow, so we don't want to make that a better card for them. We are 1 mana away from having Titan this upcoming turn. Actually, we can Summoner's Pact for an Azusa and cast the Titan that's on top of our deck, so our opponent could potentially interact with a Dismember or something to kill our Azusa, and that would be pretty unfortunate, and we'd lose access to our bounce land in that case. Actually, we can play around a removal spell by packing for a Grazer here instead, right? It's 3, 4, 5. Use a green, play Gruul Turf a second time off of our Grazer. Should be fine. Our opponent's attacking with their 3, 4 Goyfs. I'm willing to throw one Grazer under the bus. I don't want to put my Courser in front of a Goyf in case they have something that could kill our Amulet, for example, like an Abrupt Decay. That would make their Goyf able to kill our Courser, so our Courser is going to gain us a ton of life with Titan ETB triggers and multiple plays of bounce lands and things along those lines, and maybe we even find a bounce land on the top underneath this Primeval Titan so we get an extra card out of the deal. But yeah, I'm 100% just packing for another Grazer here to get Titan into play. That is one thing that Grazer does in this situation that Azusa could never dream of doing, and neither could Sakura Tribe Scout. Grazer's going to let us play a Titan safely here, playing around something that could kill our Azusa, so... yeah, alright. Another Titan on top is actually great, but we're gonna what am I saying? We're gonna shuffle that one away. Let's go ahead and play out a Grazer one time. A Grazer, what am I saying? A Gruul Turf one time. I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. Float. Pick it up. Packed. Arboreal Grazer is the card. Can't play around this one, opponent. Float, 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 float. We are going to need to keep our green sources in play to pay for this Summoner's Pact. We can also shrink our opponent's Tarmogoyfs one more time by picking up Bajuka Bog, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. The question is, are we playing around something crazy like double Dismember on our Primeval Titan? I suppose if they have double Dismember, then we're killing them with the Courser anyways, because that would put them down to 2, so I guess we don't need to play around that. Abrupt Decay wouldn't answer our Titan or anything. I guess they could have Assassin's Trophy. Do we play around Assassin's Trophy? I'm not sure I expect Assassin's Trophy out of a Shadow deck, and I think it's fair to put them on a Shadow deck with Street Wraith. So... I think... I mean, so if we don't haste here, then what are we doing with our trigger here? Getting, like, Radiant Fountain? Nah, let's just go for the haste. I think it's probably worth it. As we gain some more life here. Every land that we put into play is half of a Radiant Fountain, at least. There is that. And I am willing to attack with everything except for the Grazers here. As we see a Florahedron on top. I don't think we can get that one into play, considering we've played our land drop for the turn, but we could play this as a tapped land if we had a remaining land drop. Let's see what our opponent has for us. I think here we're likely to get... Uh-oh. We got a Dismember on our Courser. Okay. And we'll search here, of course. So we're not gaining any more life, sadly. We can get a Radiant Fountain. Let's see. Our opponent's Goyfs. Let's see. We have Instant Land, Creature, Enchantment. Instant Land, Creature, Enchantment. Our opponent could have Sorcery, so we might be taking 10 this upcoming turn. If they have a Battle Rage and a Sorcery to cast, then we'll be taking 15, which is still not enough to kill us. So I don't think we need to play around gaining more life here. I guess they could have double Battle Rage, but I'm not playing around that. So I guess it's just Hilari West and Growth Chamber. Sure. And here we'll pick up the Gruul Turf, I believe. If they do trophy one of our lands, like the Growth Chamber, then we can search for another forest and still not die. Okay, our opponent scoops it up. We have successfully navigated all of the possibilities here. I think we will want to Dismember, especially since our opponent is playing Tarmogoyf. There is an occasion where the Tarmogoyf will grow outside of Dismember range, but I think it's worth it. Explosives as well deals with Goyf and Shadow. Relic of Progenitus seems good against Goyf, and our opponent could be playing Delve Threats or like Kolaghan's Command or something that Relic plays around. We can also cycle Relic at our opponent's end step in order to get that one into play. Or in order to play around a discard spell, I mean, in order to draw a card at their end step and not have it exposed to a discard spell. So that's good. Baloth plays around discard spells and Kolaghan's Command and that kind of thing, and it blocks and gains life, and it's good. Excavator seems like it could be relevant. Ghost Quarter, probably not. Cavern of Souls is an overglorified forest here. Amulet is actually kind of weak to Kolaghan's Command, but so are Relic and Engineered Explosives, so we're kind of overloading that threat. Our opponent could have Ashiok. It would not be super outside of the normal, so maybe we trim a Summoner's Pact, but I don't know. Having a maximum number of good top decks is probably important. Speaking of, Glasspool Mimic is weak to our opponent's removal spells, so we probably don't want that one. Recovery seems pretty good here, actually. Maybe not as a 4-of, though. I don't know. I like Recovery. Let's play 3, though. Let's see. Turn Timber seems alright. Courser does add another type for Tarmogoyf to come in and do what it does, so I'm not excited about that. I guess Grazer puts us down a card just to ramp us, which is probably not great. It does block usually only once, though, so maybe it's not the best. Maybe we just cut Grazers entirely. Is that crazy? I think it's kind of crazy, but I'm willing to do it. Florahedron is kind of weak to me too, but I mean, we can always play it as a land, and we can play it off the top with Courser, which could be important. I think I'm okay with Grazer. I don't love it, but I think I'm okay with it. We could trim one Courser just to play around our opponent's removal spells and growing their Goyfs, but I don't think I want to. We have Bog and 3 Relics to help prevent that, and Courser is generally going to be pretty good against our opponent for both the life gain and the extra cards aspect of it. We could trim an Amulet. I don't hate that. And maybe a Turn Timber, maybe another Balaged, maybe a land. That was kind of rough. We have 18 seconds. Let's trim a Garenbrig and send it. Let me know what you would cut as the last card there, or in general what your sideboarding would look like. Would you sideboard differently with this list against our opponent? Let me know, as we certainly keep this hand. We have a bounce land, and we have a couple of 3-drops, and we have a bunch of untapped sources, and we have a Relic to interact. This is pretty much what we're looking for, as our opponent plays a turn 1 discard spell, of course. See what they take. Probably Courser or Dryad, I would think. Relic is annoying to them, but they probably can't afford to take it unless they have another discard spell here, so we'll definitely be playing our Turn Timber Symbiosis tapped as our land for the turn to save it from a Thoughtseize or something like that. Also, so that we don't have to take the damage from it. We can pick it up at a later date with our Gruul Turf, so we'll see what our opponent does take here. Clearly, this is a hard decision. I think that Courser is actually surprisingly very good against them. They take the Relic. Wow, okay. Well, let's play this tapped Turn Timber. And pass back. We have Garenbrig, and we have a bunch of great 3-drops, so we have a very clear route to Titan here. I assume our opponent's just committing a Tarmogoyf here. That could be the reason they took the Relic, is because they want their Tarmogoyf to have impact, and it also adds an additional type to the graveyard for their Goyf. We do see that being the case here, as their Goyf is now a 3/4. Ironically, it doesn't matter which of these 3-drops we play in the near future, both of them are enchantments, so both will grow our opponent's Tarmogoyf if they kill the creature, so there's no reason to play out the Gruul Turf here, I don't think, so let's just go ahead and play this Radiant Fountain. Let's gain our life now and pass it back. We can play Dryad into Gruul Turf this upcoming turn and have Titan the turn after, even if we lose our Dryad, thanks to Garenbrig, so Thoughtseize is pretty annoying. Well, we no longer have Titan, but at least we have some things going for us. Unless our opponent really wants to take this Dryad. I wouldn't be super surprised about that. They either have to take the Summoner's Pact or the Dryad here, I think. They can't afford to mess around with Courser because, like I said, Dryad into Garenbrig the turn after will allow us to cast a Titan, so they have to prevent that. So they've got to take one of these 2 cards right here. So depends on which one they want to take. I think with our land setup, the fact that we're going to be hitting Titan mana pretty naturally anyways means that they should take the Summoner's Pact and hope that we don't draw Titan, but I don't think their clock is fast enough to kill us before we ramp up to Titan, so especially since we can gain life with this Courser of Crufix, so that's my read on it, but we'll see what our opponent's read on it is. Let me know what you think, as always. You may be thinking that our opponent is taking a long time on their discard spells here, but they're playing a deck that can finish the game rather quickly. All it takes is them to commit a couple good attacks and they can end the game, so these discard spells really are some of the most important decisions that our opponent can make during the game. Here comes another one. And yeah, it seems like they have generally agreed with me, and that the Dryad is going to be a little too late for our opponent here. Let's play our Dryad. Let's play our Gruul Turf. Pick up the Radiant Fountain, of course. Pass it back. We have a Tolaria West transmute for another Summoner's Pact, which is nice. And if we top deck a Titan, we can just slam it this upcoming turn. Of course, our opponent is hoping that we will not be able to manage that, as our opponent has a 6/7 Goyf in play. That is a 3-turn clock currently. Another discard spell not helping them too much, but we are kind of on the wire here. We could lose to this Goyf. We could actually also transmute for a Bajuka Bog and play it this upcoming turn. I wonder if that does anything. A trophy. Okay, yes, we'll search for the regular forest. Okay, well now we can't transmute. Alright, Titan. Oh, there's the Bajuka Bog. Okay, that helps. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 types, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 types as well. So I guess we want to exile their graveyard. That seems to be a logical choice. As opponent's Goyf is now a 4/5, that gives us an additional turn. Sadly, this Radiant Fountain is not changing the clock at all. We could have had one more life out of our Courser. Oh, a Turn Timber Symbiosis, you say. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me recount that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess we're casting a Turn Timber Symbiosis this turn. And that is the reason why we're playing this particular card. This could have been any other land in our deck, but instead it might be a Primeval Titan. Let's see, we got Courser, we got Dryad, and we got Baloth. Dryad will let us transmute Tolaria West. Let's see, their Goyf is a 4/5. Dryad would be a 4/6, so we could block their Goyf even if it gains one more type. Baloth would gain us an additional turn and would threaten to eat up our opponent's Tarmogoyf, but doesn't give us any advantage beyond that. Courser lets us play the cards off the top of our deck in order to get closer to a Titan, though. If our Dryad just dies, then we've gained no life. We still can't transmute Tolaria West. I don't think Dryad is the choice here. Courser will gain us a little bit of life and will help us dig towards Titan, so I think it's probably supposed to be Courser. I don't know, though. Our opponent has one card left. Do we play around a removal spell, is the question. Obstinate Baloth also kills our opponent in 2 turns, which neither Dryad or Courser does. Weird. And it's also harder for our opponent to kill Baloth. They can't Abrupt Decay it. Man, this is odd. Baloth gains us an additional turn as well, even if it dies. I'm going to go with the Dryad and just hope our opponent doesn't have the removal spell. And I'm not going to play the Garen Break to play around a Kolaghan's Command, so. They had the Abrupt Decay. Goodness. Okay, well, we still have to top deck here. Alright, we're at 3. This is the last turn. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Maybe we should have gotten the Baloth. Alright, let's see what we can do for another game here. I think it's fine to have only 3 amulets. Grazes don't seem to be impactful here. Mimics, probably not worth it. Recoveries, they're fine. We kind of do want this Garen Rig, though. Didn't see any Ashioks or anything. Excavator, maybe not really the most impactful here. I'll trim an Excavator, I think. And we'll run it back. Okay, well, at least we're on the play. We have a Florahedron hand and a couple of removal spells. This seems like it could be pretty good against our opponent. Still haven't seen a shadow from them, but I'm definitely willing to keep this. We don't get to play this Florahedron on turn 2, sadly. Although we might end up just playing it as a land at some point, so we'll see. I'm inclined to lead on the Garenbrig here, as it does let us play an Explosive Zone 1 if we want to. As our opponent is almost assuredly playing a discard spell here. Ooh, a Traverse the Ulvenwald to get a Swamp. Okay, well, our relics are extremely good. We can play this Florahedron this turn thanks to our Turn Timber Symbiosis. How do we feel about that? I think it's pretty good. I think it's probably worth it. Alright, pass it back. If our opponent just kills our Florahedron, it's whatever. I suppose they could have Dismember for the Florahedron and then be on like a Death Shadow draw. That would be pretty annoying, but even then, we just get the Explosives on 1 and blow it up, so it's like not really a big deal. Plus, we have a Dismember of our own to deal with the Shadow. So if they were to like fetch Shock, Dismember, that would be 7 damage total. They'd go down to 10. They'd have a 3/3 Shadow, and then we could untap and Dismember the Shadow, and even if they had a single Street Wraith, their Shadow would still die, so... Scourge. Okay, we can Dismember that one, too. Summoner's Pact. Well, we could Pact for a Courser here, but then we die to removal spell. I think we just wait on the Pact. Can't Explosives on 2 just yet. Might be something we want to fix by playing out this Gruul Turf. Although we do get exposed to Assassin's Trophy and Cleansing Wildfire. Let's go ahead and throw this Dismember, I think, and pass it back. I suppose we could Pact for a Dryad, play Gruul Turf, pick up the Garenbrig, play Garenbrig untapped thanks to the Dryad ability, and then Dismember this. And then we'd have lands in play to pay for Pact even if our Florahedron dies. We won't have a threat, though. That's probably fine. Yeah, I think that's the line that we have to go for. Get our Dryad here. Here he goes. Gruul Turf. Pick up the Garenbrig. Play it untapped thanks to all of our lands being all land types here. And we'll get rid of this guy right now. Alright, pass it back. Oh, wait, that didn't kill him? Huh. Gross, I didn't think about that. Oops. Well, now we're in a lot of trouble. I really thought that would kill the Scourge. Oh well. Well, guys, I make mistakes too. I'm sure you are trying to yell at me through the screen, don't do it, don't do it. We can't even play Explosives this upcoming turn. In the worst turn of events. Why is our opponent taking this long to Thoughtseize away one of our 2 engineered explosives? Just take one. There we go. Well, are we in the business of blocking with Dryad? We would otherwise lose to Battle Rage. I think we're still losing to Battle Rage, right? We would take 3 down to 10, and then their Scourge would grow to a 10/10, and then we'd take 10. So we're still dying to Battle Rage. But we can chump and then chump with the Florahedron and still have Titan mana. If we draw an untapped source, though, we could immediately play explosives on 2. I'm just going to take the damage. We'll die to the Battle Rage. Well, we were dead to that anyways. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, our opponent wins the match. Don't know what to say about that. I feel like we had a very good shot in games 2 and 3 until I messed up game 3 at the very least with the dismember play. But that's okay. It does happen. And we still have a couple more matches in front of us. So hopefully you still enjoyed this video, learned something from it, maybe got some enjoyment out of it. And if you did, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next match. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.